Hello, listeners. If you haven't liked, subscribed, or followed the Sounds of Living podcast accounts, you could find us on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and Patreon at Sounds of Living Podcast. Any donation would be greatly appreciated to help support my journey of taking Sounds of Living around the United States. Thank you. Hello and welcome back to Sounds of Living. I'm your host today, Alex Kellerman, and I'm sitting here with my cousin Addison Kellerman. Addison, say what's up.
I'm not Addison Kellerman.
Oh my god. Let me redo that. Hello and welcome to Sounds of Living. I'm your host today, Alex Kellerman, and I'm sitting here with Addison Brandl, not Kellerman. Addison, say what's up.
Hey guys.
How are you doing today, Addison?
I'm doing good. Just well. How are you?
Doing pretty well. Why don't you tell us about yourself?
Right now, I am currently out of school, taking care of my little dog Thumper. He's a little butthole, but he is great. Other than that, I plan on going back to school next year to continue my welding education. You know, nothing too interesting. I do like music a lot, so that's why I'm sitting here with Alex today. And that's about it, Alex.
Awesome. Well, why don't you tell everybody about our relationship and how we know each other? I know we're cousins, but I know that people might want to know your perspective of what we've done throughout our lives.
Well, I met Alex when I popped out of my mom about 19 years ago, and we've been best buds ever since. I have a brother named Alec and a cousin named Maria, which is Alex's sister. We are all really close. You know, we got Gavin and Peyton and Madison. We're one big family. We love each other very much. I guess we could go to start was one of my favorite memories with Alex, and that was ice blocking. We took a block of ice and we put a towel on top and we would sled down a hill in Arizona because there's no snow. That's my favorite memory.
Well, cool.
Alex, what's your favorite memory with me?
I would have to say when we were in the Cayman Islands and you, me, Gavin, and Maria, we were all staying in condos, and there were like a few trees that had these like blackbirds. The blackbirds would be very protective over their nests. When you'd walk by the nest, they would like come down and try to like hit your head. You remember that? So we came up with a game where we would run around the condo. Do you remember this?
I remember.
And we would try to see if the blackbird would follow any of us. And I remember Gavin, do you remember this?
When he ran around the whole compound.
And the bird kept following him the whole way.
Basically, short story short, our cousin Gavin got attacked by this bird, except for he ran around every single condo screaming. And it was the funniest thing ever. I guess I could say Alex and me and Maria were trying to catch crabs right underneath the nest, and Alex accidentally got the crab's arm and not the crab. As that was happening, the birds came and attacked us, and one scratched me in the back, and we all started panicking. But that is just quite the memory. It will never get old. To anyone that lives in Cayman Islands, I am sorry you have to deal with those birds because they are not it.
Well, why don't we get to the music part of this episode?
Let's do it.
For a long time, I don't remember the exact age when you started. You had started playing softball.
Yes,
right?
I started when I was 5 years old, the age that I could start. I didn't play t-ball. I was kind of a girly girl before then, but softball's been my best friend ever since. I played in college. I did last year at a D3 school. Didn't really like it out there, so now I'm back, and I'm going to be playing at a JUCO next year.
Awesome. So what music would you associate with softball?
So I would associate rock music, and there's a specific reason why, because my dad loves it, and you know, I feel like every softball girl, their dad loves either listening to the sports channel on the radio or rock music on the way to a softball game, because it gets not only you pumped up, it gets them pumped up. You know, they always need to feel that. So one of the main artists, Kid Rock, he was my favorite.
Why specifically Kid Rock? Like, what made you motivated to go to your practices or go to your games, and what exactly about Kid Rock spoke to you?
Kid Rock spoke to me in ways that it got me so pumped up and motivated to do well. I could name a couple of songs if you want.
Yeah, tell us.
So, Devil Without a Cause is one of my favorites, and the reason is because by the time I was 10, I already knew how to rap the entire beginning of it. That's because my dad played that song so much. And my mom thought, why the hell is my dad teaching me that? And me and my dad thought it was awesome. So that was one of my favorite memories with Kid Rock and his music. And then another song, my real hype song by him is American Badass. It's a song by Metallica. That's the background music of it. Can't remember which one right now off the top of my head, but just the beat of Metallica's song mixing with Kid Rock's voice was insane, and it gave me a real rush.
So would you be on your way to the practices listening to this? Would you be listening to it like during the practice? Like, do you have headphones in? How would it be incorporated in your softball life?
During my softball days, like growing up, like travel ball and in-house and stuff like that, we weren't obviously allowed to wear headphones while we'd play, but like on the way there, you know, my dad would blast it in the speakers in the car, and you know, we'd get warmed up and stuff, and like just that excitement, that adrenaline I would just get from listening to that song, it just carried its way through my entire day. Put me in a good attitude, a good place before I go out and play softball, you know.
So you'd like listen to it like once and then you'd be good and it would just be in your head all day?
Yeah,
okay.
Man.
It wouldn't necessarily be you'd be playing it while practicing or while in the middle of the game. It would be like before the hand. Mm-hmm. Okay, that makes sense. With your softball journey, where do you see yourself 5 years from now? Do you think you'll still continue to play?
See, the thing is, that's the sad thing. I don't, because I feel like that was a chunk of my life that now needs to be moved on from, and I don't want to. I wish I could have played D1 or gone professional, but I just feel like I got other things in life to learn that's calling my name, and you know, all good parts of your life end. So that's a big thing, and as long as I wish I could have softball in my life, I could still play in adult leagues, you know, just not the competitive way I used to play. With that being said, 5 years from now, I see myself welding, starting a life with my boyfriend, hopefully, you know, moving on from there, and I still see myself playing in adult leagues, you know, possibly coaching, and when I have kids, I hope I have daughters to put in softball and see if they'll like it and enjoy it the way I did, but it's a part of my life that I wish I could have forever, but will never forget.
I see. So do you think you could see yourself working in like a different position within like softball in general? Like,
absolutely.
Like what seems like an interesting thing for you to do other than play?
Anything with sports.
Like broadcasting or like...
Not necessarily that, but like coaching has definitely caught my eye. And
like, would you go back to school for it?
Go back to school to play?
No, not to play, but just to learn how to coach.
I don't think I need to learn.
You don't think so?
I think I've had so many experiences since I was 5 years old with different coaches and different tactics. I think I could carry it just fine. I don't think coaching is something that you necessarily need to be taught to do. I think coaching is something that comes naturally for someone. Being a team leader, being a team player, and, you know, dedicating your heart to not only the sport, but to the team you have. And me, my friend, I am all about that. So I think coaching will be something that comes naturally for me, and it'll be easy. And I think it's something that I could do to pass on things I learned growing up playing softball, because you don't only just learn how to play the sport, you learn how to get along with people, work together. It builds up your mental endurance, you know? You can have really bad things happen in a game and you can blame yourself, or you can pick yourself up and go back out and do better. It's not just about the game. It makes you a person. It defines who you are, you know? It shows other people who you are.
And you want to be a part of that process for these younger girls?
Absolutely. I want to be not only a coach, but a mentor.
So you think that you would probably consider doing the welding, but also on the side being a coach for like maybe like a high school team?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, that would be really nice, especially because like you could still balance everything that you love about the sport without having to worry about getting hurt. I think that would be the biggest concern for me if I was in your position, would be getting hurt.
Well, yeah, I did have a big injury, and I know you know of this, but obviously not the listeners in this podcast know. One thing along my softball journey, about 2 years ago, I shattered my leg in a collision, and it broke my heart because I couldn't play. And, you know, I thought at points that I wouldn't walk again and be as strong as I was to pitch and run, and I can't run as fast as I used to, but I came back in 6 months. with 2 broken bones in my leg. I had a shattered tibia and a broken fibula. 10 months later, I was deadlifting 200 pounds. It's about the drive you have, and if you are ready to take on the challenge, you will take it on. You know, it's not about being lazy in sports. It's about wanting to do it, not feeling forced to do it. If you feel forced, you shouldn't be playing, all right? You gotta want it, and when you want it, you'll get it.
And you would say that Kid Rock, as well as like all these other rock musicians, were that motivation for you
Absolutely.
to continue and drive to push yourself into what you became.
Absolutely. I remember when I hit 200 pounds, the exact song I was listening to wasn't rock, but it's kind of funny because it was Just Wanna Rock by Lil Uzi Vert. You know, it just got me in that groovy, like kind of hype mood, but it's, you know, it's a funny song too. In that moment, you know, something overcame me, and once I lifted that bar, I was like, okay, I can do this. Like, I can do it again.
For
Like,
sure.
but Kid Rock, going back to him, just at lifts in general in college and, you know, working out by myself, that type of rock music, including some heavy rap by XXXTentacion, stuff in that genre, even if it was rap or old rock or hard rock or heavy metal, that kind of upbeat, I don't even know if like the scary kind of rap gets me into a headspace where I don't think I can do it, I know I can, and I push myself until I do it.
So that's interesting, because isn't Kid Rock a mix between rap and rock?
Absolutely,
so
yes,
that's,
he is.
That's why you have like almost both sides.
That's why I
pulling
love
at you.
him
that
very
makes
much.
sense. Okay. So it wasn't only rock. It was rap and rock.
Yeah, I guess you could say that, yeah.
That makes sense. Also, while you're, you know, doing softball throughout the years, you had been in many relationships. Tell me about the music that affected those relationships.
So this is switching it up a lot. One artist I can know that really got me through some hard times in the relationships that I've been in and helped me reminisce and, you know, get that emotion that I needed to get out was Cigarettes After Sex. A very specific song is Cry. The beat and the lyrics and just the tone of the song overall, just, it calms me, but it also puts me in the state where I can cry it out and get through it. And even though it feels like the end of the world sometimes, it still makes me feel like I'm at peace, and it makes me feel like it's okay to cry.
And when you mean that it's like okay to cry, are you saying it's okay to cry about the loss of relationships, or just while being in a relationship and you're going through stuff and you want to feel comfortable around your partner and cry? Like, which one are you talking about? Or is it both?
It's both, you know, like it's sad because it's a loss, but at the same time, I've had 2 relationships in specific where I was treated very poorly in those relationships. It made me feel like it was okay to just weep and let that pain out of my system, not because I missed them. Well, I guess I could say because of that too, but also because I did my best and they didn't.
So it is about the loss.
Yes.
Would you ever listen to Cry when you were in relationships?
I have, yes.
Was it the same meaning when you would listen to it, or was it a different one?
It's different, but also the same. Kind of, maybe I'll feel like I'm losing them, or I'm losing that honeymoon phase, or I'm just like, it doesn't feel the same as it used to.
So you're doing this by yourself, not with your partner, listening to
By
this song.
myself, yeah.
I see. So this song has been kind of like your crutch
Yes.
when you are not sure of things.
Yes.
And trying to figure it out.
Yes. To anyone that could listen to this podcast, I feel like a lot of people my age might relate, you know, because I'm still young. I'm not 40 or 50 years old. My brain isn't finished developing. Like, I'm not at the most mature state that I could be in. You know, I still got time. I got a lot of things to learn.
Of course.
So I feel a lot of people can relate to laying down in bed and just kind of laying there and just let it hurt for a little bit.
Would you say that you're comfortable in the hurt or the sadness?
Oddly, yes, I do.
Why?
Because I feel like it needs to happen for me to heal. I feel like I need to feel the hurt. I need to experience the pain in order for me to heal. I need to let it out.
While you were in relationships relationships, I know that you had mentioned this to me before, that like lo-fi music was very common when you guys were together, like no matter like what partner it was. And what specifically about like lo-fi music made it so that it reminded you of these relationships?
So when you say lo-fi music, not necessarily, I would say music with words and lyrics. I would say music as in beats and like soft beats. Honestly, I've gotten a lot of them off TikTok, which is kind of funny, but they're usually created by various different artists, and I feel listening to a song without words, you know, is a way for me to connect with my inner mind and to like really think things through and feel it out. It almost takes me to a feeling where I feel unreal, and you know, I get to enjoy the earth, I get to enjoy the things around me and learn to appreciate those instead of put my appreciation into just the person that I was with or whoever's loss I'm grieving, whether it's a friend or a serious relationship with a boyfriend or even a loss, as I mean like in a death, you know.
So it's all in relation to you not feeling good?
Sometimes, yes. And sometimes it's in a relation to feeling like things are gonna be okay.
It's like a calming of your brain?
Yes.
Okay.
It puts parts of me that aren't at peace at peace.
No matter what feeling you are having, if you want to be in this calm mindset where you can just sit and think and try to understand what it is that you're going through, that's the type of music you want to be listening to because it allows yourself to go into that mindset.
Absolutely.
Okay, that makes sense. Lastly, for your final pivotal point, there has been music that's helped you with your mental health. Why don't you go into what you listen to and how does that relate to your mental health?
So, a lot of people, when they go into music and mental health, I feel like I can kind of connect that to the relationship pivotal point that we were talking about before. And that's the sad part. And, you know, I try to keep my relationships away from my mental health. And I try to keep my mental health just about me and not what things around me are going on, because the things around you that are going on impact your mental health. Okay, I don't know if people really understand what I'm trying to say there, but I feel like you'll get it if you get it, you know.
So like, I guess what I don't understand is like, you say that you want to have your relationships and like the music you listen to separate from the music you listen to dealing with your mental health. It sounds like they're almost the same music.
Yes, and here's...
So, like, how are you able to change the mindset when you're dealing with all these separate issues?
Yes, so...
Or things.
Getting into that, so that's why I kept the sad music and the more soft tone music in my relationships part of my mental health, and that's what we were just talking about. When it goes into affecting my mental health, I mean positively, and by that, I mean one artist in specific that can always put me in a good mood.
Okay, so your mental health meaning what you listen to in order to get into the mood that you want to be in.
Yes.
Aren't there other songs that put you into all the moods that you want to be in?
Yes.
This specific artist makes you want to be happy.
Yes.
Do you feel like you don't get it enough?
I do in ways, but I also feel like I have the choice, you know? This specific artist has never failed to put me in the mood that I need to be in to move forward in my life. And that artist is Playboi Carti. And a lot of people might smile when they hear that, but it's not like his, you know, hefty, like hard songs. It's more of like a remix of his songs. You know, there's one song in specific. It is a remix by a beat producer named Adrian. Obviously the lyrics and the voice is Playboi Carti, and that song is very popular now on TikTok. I've known it since before the TikTok days, and that song is 9 a.m. in Calabasas. That beat to that song is just unreal. You know, sometimes Playboi Carti's lyrics don't really make the most sense, and I'm not saying that to hate. I'm just saying that because it's not me connecting to the lyrics. It's just feeling the music and feeling happy while I listen to it.
I see. So it's the production, it's the whole end product
yes.
that makes you feel these feelings, and it's not anything that you could particularly identify other than that it's the whole ambiance of the song, and it just makes you feel this happiness and joy. I understand. I think it's important that everybody has songs and artists that they can connect to in order to understand what it is that they're experiencing.
I agree. And it's really hard to explain. As I was saying before, his lyrics sometimes don't make the most sense, but it's not that the lyrics are bad. He's still saying something. He's still saying real words. He's not mumbling. It just goes with the song. It goes with the beat. It goes with the flow. And the reason I like that so much is because not everything in life will make sense, all right? You know, you won't understand everything you come across. And I'm not saying that in relation to the music. I'm just saying that because sometimes you just need to go with the flow. And I feel like Playboi Carti and Adrian's remixes with a lot of his songs in particular make me go with the flow.
It's awesome that you've been able to identify these moments in which music has made you who you are.
Yeah, thank you.
I like to give everybody a chance to say whatever it is that they think is important for the rest of the world to know.
Mm-hmm.
So why don't you tell everybody what you think is important?
So, doesn't really have to relate to music, but I know this is a music podcast, but I'm just going to say something because I feel like a lot of people need to hear it. At a softball tournament when I was younger, me and my parents went out to breakfast at Cracker Barrel, and my waitress told me something in advance to having a tournament that day, and she said, "Winners never quit and quitters never win." And I've carried that quote throughout life with me because it just makes the most sense out of any quote I've ever heard, because if you're doing something and you really want it, winners will never quit, and if you are a quitter, you will never win. You will never get to where you want to be.
That's a good quote, Addison. I think even though it's very common phrase, like it's still a very powerful message, and there's a reason why it's still used today.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So I appreciate you emphasizing the importance of that quote.
Thank you. Thanks, Alex.
Thank you, Addison, for being on Sounds of Living. And to the audience out there, wherever you are, I wish you happiness and good health, and we'll see you next episode.